Hello, everyone. Fertile Fireside Chat. Welcome. Instagram and Facebook Live, and here to share some thoughts and ideas on how to improve your fertility. Crazy journey. All of this is very stressful emotionally, physically, and financially in all ways. And I am sorry that anyone has to go through this. It's crazy. RJK30, how you doing? Amy Walter, let's see, Laura Mans, Brittany Harris, how you doing? Joanne Annie, all right, awesome. And, the usual and customary, we're going to talk about immune system, inflammation, endometriosis, protocols, processes, but mostly my job here is to answer your questions, all right? It's not time for fire yet. Although it was a little cool coming in the house earlier today. And I was down in New York City a little bit and visited family. And all of us must make sure we join in with our family and friends and really continue to bring those relationships together. And this Thursday, Thursday, I'm up in Ottawa giving a talk at the Canadian Fertility Society meeting. I'm going to talk about integration of Eastern and Western medicine and how we can all improve the process of this fertility journey. This is hard as heck, as we all know. All right, Brandy Turner, if I try Lovenox, having diagnosis of blood clotting issue, could I bleed out, go into preterm labor? It's very, 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 very rare that you're going to bleed excessively from these drugs, by the way. So in general, it's not really a big issue because most of these drugs are used at a level that you're not suddenly bleeding on your own. And typically, there's some reversing agents for the heparin, and if you stop it within 24 hours. But again, it's very rare. It's small risks in general anyway. All right, let's see here. A weight requirement before going forward with IVF. Shanjoy 123. We do not have a weight requirement. We're here to take care of all men and women, size, shape, height, color, past history, present history, future unknown for all of us. And really this journey, we have a lot of things we talk about related to how to improve and reduce inflammation, which may ultimately bring your weight down. It may be some of the procedures have a slightly increased complication rate, but ultimately plenty of women are having babies that are overweight. And, my opinion is in general that overweight stuff is related to the inflammation from the diseases that we have. All right, let me see if I can get into into my Facebook and make sure I'm answering all your questions properly. Hey, Ann Poirier, how you doing? Hello from Texas, Patty Keck. Looking to see if any meds may cause swelling of the lips. Okay, so any drugs that you're taking, any food that you're eating, you might have an allergic reaction. And anything that touches the skin, especially the lips and the tongue, can get an allergic reaction. So most commonly is going to be foods. In my opinion, fruits and vegetables are high on the list. Some have shellfish allergies. So look carefully at all of those that may be an issue, by the way. All right, Sparred Join, how you doing? Mom of 4, hello. Carly Poo 7, how are you doing? And let's see here. How many days are you usually on IVF meds? So in general, let me see if I have my sheet with I'm not sure I have it here. And basically, in general, for the stimulation for IVF, it's about 10 days of taking medications, usually gonadotropins, Gonalef, Follistim, Menopur, either separate or together. And it's about 10 days of taking the stims with monitoring, a trigger shot, HCG or Lupron or both, on about day 10, and then 34 to 36 hours later, so 2 days later, is an egg retrieval, currently either in Syracuse or in our Albany office. And so you may stay for the monitoring. You may get your monitoring locally wherever you live. We're working with radiology, either Quest or LabCorp, or working with your gynecologist or a local RE. We really, really are grateful to all the REs that are working. We're all working together. We monitor their patients, they monitor ours. We really have a great family and village that works together to make this whole experience much more seamless. We're weaving it together. All right, let's see here. Embryo glue first. All right, so embryo glue for embryo transfer. And so basically it's a culture media that's used for a few hours before transfer that some studies have suggested it may help with implantation and pregnancy rates. In our experience, we haven't found that. We offer it. There's a little additional charge. And again, we're not here touting, saying, hey, you should use it. If you ask for it, we have it. We'll be glad to provide it for you. Let's see here. Can you talk a little about AMH versus AFC? So anti-mullerian hormone versus antral follicle count. So basically they're both measurements of the follicles in the ovaries and or the number of reserve eggs and your probability of either number of eggs or probability of getting pregnant. So the antral follicle count is basically a vaginal or abdominal ultrasound. Typically we do vaginal to look at the ovaries and look at the follicles in the ovary to tell us how many. And if you have 1 or 2 in an ovary, it's not good. If you have 5 to 6 in an ovary, it's better. If you have 10 to 20, it may indicate polycystic ovarian syndrome or polycystic type ovaries, by the way. So the more follicles on AFC numbers you have, which could be even any time of the cycle, and so is AMH any time of the cycle, but usually if it's at the beginning of a cycle, it may indicate that you're going to produce more eggs, more follicles, I should say, and have a greater probability of getting eggs. Remember, the follicle is the cyst in the ovary that's supposed to contain an egg, but you don't know that unless you get pregnant and or you aspirate it out. AMHs greater than 1 and less than 4 are typically in that normal range. If it gets up above 5, that usually indicates more like polycystic ovarian syndrome but you got to be careful, these aren't exact. But under 1 is not as good. Under 0.05 is also not good. Now, interesting enough, we found that things like keto diet, DHEA, slowing it down, cooling it down, can rejuvenate the ovaries and bring back your antral follicle count and increase your AMH. Acupuncture, acupuncture, meditation, massage, DHEA, maybe CBD, LDN, and human growth hormone. So some things to look at if you're looking to freeze eggs or create embryos and freeze them for use of later and or at this time. So sometimes you have to do a stimulation. Take the gonadotropins. A standard dose is going to be about 300. A high dose or moderate to high is going to be 450 to 600. And low dose is typically going to be about 150 of either gonal, Folstim, or Menopur. A mini cycle is going to be in the Clomid or Letrozole with a little bit of gonadotropins also. So again, in the doing of the stimulation will really determine how many you're going to make more than anything. And I've seen 1 or 2 eggs make a baby and 10 to 20 eggs not make a baby, by the way. All right, so we have the best. Let's see, this is good. We are freezing in winter. We will be cooling it down. Yes, that's Ronnie. That's true. But you don't want to be outdoors too long. Remember, when you exercise and you add a lot of carbs to the belly and the bowels, you ferment, heat, and that's where I think a lot of this diminished ovarian reserve comes from. Talk about vasectomy reversal or extraction for IVF best options. Natalie Rodriguez. Again, the woman's age, ovarian reserve based on AMH and or antral follicle count matter a lot in this. The younger you are, the better odds you are, so you have a greater window. The greater the window would say, hey, consider a vasectomy reversal. If it's been less than 10 years, it may be better. But if you're in the later 30s or lower AMH of FSH, it may be reasonable to go right to IVF. That said, it's really determined by what you want to go through and how quick you want to move into something, by the way. All right. Let's see here. Do patients with elevated prolactin treated need something like progesterone to get pregnant? So let's see, Natalie, 3R 2018. So elevated prolactin levels from basically the pituitary gland stimulates prolactin, which can disrupt ovulation and or luteal phase progesterones. So adding progesterone can help, adding Dostinex or bromocriptine can also help in all of that. Long-term use of ibuprofen and similar pain relievers cause dramatic decrease in sperm count. My husband went down even more after taking various meds. These medications may have an effect, but remember, you're usually taking those medications because of pain or other processes of inflammation. So it may really be the underlying inflammation that's the cause of the damaged sperm and not actually the ibuprofen. But any medications and drugs you take can have an adverse effect on it, by the way. Let's see. Kayla, what is the standard dose for someone who did previous cycle and hyperstimulated? Kayla Rodriguez, how you doing? So hyperstimulation, looking standard doses of IVF. So a standard dose of IVF medications is going to be at the 300 units, which might be 225 of gonal or follistim plus 75 of Menopur, or 300 of gonal or follistim and 20 of low-dose HCG. That's our standard. If you hyperstimulate it to that. Now, it depends on what you mean by hyperstimulation. In general, these medications we're giving do cause hyperstimulation because we're trying to hyperstimulate the ovaries in order to get 8 to 10 eggs or 10 to 20 eggs. Now, more is not better. And really, this is where we're looking for quality over quantity. And this is where Mini comes in with either letrozole 10 or Clomid 100 for 5 days with 150 units of either gonal, follistim, Menopur, or a combination. And so if you're hyperstimulated at 300, go down to 150. If you're hyperstimulated at 450, go down to 300. So making these adjustments is important. But again, hyperstimulation is very common if you overstimulate. And I say hyperstimulation, multiple follicles in the ovaries, but fluid in the belly, difficulty breathing, needing to drain fluid is not as common anymore because we use Lupron as the trigger shot. I hope that answered your question. What advice, TTC, male infertility, what advice do you have to have better quality follicles? 1, first retrieval, 17 follicles, 2 fertilized embryos. So remember, egg and sperm determines the embryo. It could be either one, even though they both look normal. Certainly, if you're having what we believe is less quality eggs, which determines less fertilization and embryos, then this is where you want to look at keto, LDN, maybe CBD oil, no THC. Slow it down and cool it down. Remember, guys and gals both, slow it down and cool it down because it's the heat of the body that damages the ovaries and the sperm, the egg and the sperm, the testicles, and the eggs. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. And so then human growth hormone may help, triggering with a combination of Lupron and HCG, and you might boost the HCG level. And if you use straight gonal or follistim, add some Menopur. Even using more Menopur may be another way to do that, by the way. Shout out to everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to everyone sharing your thoughts and ideas, your criticism and critiquing. Listen, I apologize, and I know that this is an imperfect process, and we're working each and every day to make it better, by the way. Unforgettable, 36, 6 eggs, 3 in the lead, day 6 of stems. Is that good? Listen, you're never going to get them all to be exact. It's a nearly impossibility. We tried priming with estrogen, with the patches, maybe testosterone, with human growth hormone, with Lupron, or Cetrotide to try to sort of quiet everything down. And this is where the estrogen, Lupron, the week prior to your period may come in, but in general, we haven't seen that suddenly, hey, we're going to make 10 follicles, and they're all going to start off at 10, then 12, then 15, then 18 and trigger. But absolutely 3 leads. So I'm assuming 6 follicles, 3 in the lead, and that is good, by the way. Let's see. Transfer resulted in a chemical pregnancy. All right. So remember the biochemical pregnancy, like a negative test, a positive test, but you never see clinical pregnancy. Then seeing the clinical pregnancy on ultrasound, either abdominal or vaginal, are all steps on the same way, and the causes are the same. Inflammation, which damages the egg, the sperm, the embryo, and the environment that we're all dealing with is all part of the factor, unfortunately. So anything you can do, again, to reduce inflammation. Michelle, 8297, how you doing? From Sarasota. CBD oil to battle inflammation. What dose do you recommend? Let's see. So this is THC free, 500 milligrams. It's CNY CBD. It's 1 to 2 dropperfuls once to twice a day. Start with 1 time a day. Take it at night. Try that. But generally, it's a dropperful twice a day to 2 dropperfuls twice a day, and the 500 milligrams, or half that for the 1,000 milligrams vials, by the way. We do the CBD gummies. No vaping for this, by the way. I've taken the vaping off the shelves, and if for some reason someone suggested it, I'm no longer suggesting it, so get rid of it, by the way. I don't think it's good for us. All right, little something to drink to cool it down. I always have a little cold sparkling water. All right, we have CNY Miracle Baby, and we only got 1 egg. And listen, your stories are critical. And the more positive stories we share, yes, there are a lot of negative stories. And we know it's hard, it's stressful. We get angry, we lash out, we react. We need to practice responding, slowing it down, and cooling it down. If you only get that 1 egg and 1 sperm and 1 embryo, that can make a baby. So don't lose faith, by the way. Remember, fear, we all have it. You got to sort of flip it around. Faith evolves and restores each and every day. Don't lose the faith that we all need to have, by the way. Let's see here. Waiting to transfer. Just finished 10 days of Provera. Cycle day 68 now. Provera doesn't produce a period. What next? All right. Listen. If you don't get regular periods, get an ultrasound and blood work. If you have a thin lining, forget Provera. Listen, then when my team or anyone says call with your period, we have to all be reminded. I don't get regular periods. If my lining is thin, you don't have to have a period. If it's thicker, 8 to 12 millimeters, take some Provera. If it doesn't work, get ultrasound and blood work. Sometimes we'll do a hysteroscopy DNC or a DNC. That might help in the process, by the way. Let's see. We're going to be a cycle of timed intercourse with Follistim with autoimmune protocol next month. Was wondering, let me see if I can get this if I need to take low-dose aspirin with the Lovenox. I generally say yes to the aspirin with the Lovenox. And again, we throw a lot of things at the target. The funny part to this is that we don't have, there aren't a lot of absolute answers in this process, unfortunately. That's the challenge, all right? I know it. But what I say here is we're always doing something different, and if what you're doing isn't working, we've got to keep doing it and keep trying something different, by the way. All right? How's everyone doing? Hello from Jennifer Peterson from Indiana. Embryo, let's see, Sherlyn Moncrique. Do you recommend for the first transfer embryo to do ERA test? All right, embryo ERA testing can be helpful, by the way, but the problem is that no one knows that you should get everything. I'm not a big proponent of the first one, but it's kind of, you get to the question, well, why you're putting a lot of time and money in all this, why not do it for the first one? That's the important part. So, hey, I've got my whole list, and I'm just going to throw it up here, and I'll be glad to sort of send it to anyone who asks. It's my list of everything. And I put it out there, and ERA is one of the everythings. Laparoscopy, hysteroscopy for endo, keto, LDN CBD oil. So really looking at all these things, by the way. Oh, let's see here. A couple people from California this weekend, from Indianapolis, from Wisconsin, from Georgia, from Florida. We really are grateful for people traveling. We're all learning together in this process, by the way. And as you know, I'm a little bit high energy. Sometimes you just got to slow it down. And I know that meditation prayer is powerful for all of us. And we all need to keep going and don't give up, by the way. Where do you recommend for same-sex women couples should start in the whole family making process? All right. Same thing as same-sex men, same-sex women. It's get a consultation. Hey, is there anything going on in your body that may say, hey, we might need to look at this? But in general, regular cycles, no surgeries, no allergies, otherwise healthy. Then it may be a dye test to check the tubes, a little bit of blood work, genetic testing, if you like, of your genes, and look at donor sperm for either IUI, and if the other is IVF. Some people look to go to IVF sooner than later, by the way, because IVF may hold a greater probability in a short amount of time for about the same, if not lower cost, because sperm is too expensive. We know that. I don't know why. Did my first FET in August, but resulted in a failed pregnancy. How long should I wait to do another FET after levels return to zero? You can go ahead right with the next cycle, by the way. You don't need to wait. But then think about immune protocol, keto, LDN CBD. Think about hysteroscopy, laparoscopy for endo inflammation. Think about ERA. Think about embryo glue, intralipids, and my sort of Plaquenil, prednisone, Neupogen, PRP, HCG washes. And Neupogen wash is one that we got to keep in mind for thin linings early in the cycle, doing a frozen transfer, by the way. Thanks for all the loves, the likes, the shout outs. Really appreciate it from everyone, by the way. All right, let's see here. Thanks for all your love to everyone, by the way. And I want to send my love to everyone. And I appreciate, again, the critique and the criticism. We're working our best. We've been so busy, and we really need to add on more team members to all of this. I want to work to keep the prices down. So there's a little bit of a conflict in all that. As we get busier and need for more help, we may need to bring the prices up a little bit, but I'm going to really make sure we continue to make them very, very, very affordable. Hey, Ryan, D. right now, how you doing? And again, this is our village. The CNY Fertile, Facebook, Instagram. But remember, the village is all people that are going through infertility, all people that are helping with infertility, all doctors, practitioners, naturopaths, and let's say our lay community of experienced. And remember, this Facebook, Instagram, and Google environment gives us so many ways to learn. And the more we listen, I always kind of do this. It's listening, learning, and loving. And it really is that I know it feels sometimes we're losing in this battle, but you got to flip it around. You got to take the losing and give it some love and give it some energy. And remember, to yourselves first. And remember, as the oxygen falls in the airplane, hopefully we don't have to go through this, put it on yourself first, then you can help your neighbor, your friend, your family, and everyone else, by the way. All right. To human growth hormone. Dr. Kiltz, doing my second round with you. How do you feel about IF, and HGH? I'm sorry about the IF. So for sure, the human growth hormone, I think, is important. And I'm sorry, my acronym for IF, I'm not sure, but I'm sure you're going to share with me. Hey, Meg, how you doing? Scratch. Okay, so recent article, debate in fertility and sterility. No one can quite come to consensus. Is scratch good or bad? I kind of always looked at it kind of like tilling the soil or getting rid of the excess and debriding the wound, allowing the fresh air and vessels to come into play. I think it can be helpful personally. And the hysteroscopy with the scratch can be helpful, maybe even a course of 7 to 14 days of antibiotics low-dose Levaquin, Doxy, Z-Pak, or Keflex. Some of these may be helpful because I believe that the bacteria and yeast love our bodies, by the way, and maybe even a little bit of diflucan once a week, 150 milligrams, may be helpful. All right, after 8 week registration in your clinic, do private scans by request. We do scanning by request, by the way. And we're here to help people longer in all of this journey. Sometimes my team is, we want to make sure you have a practitioner that can take care of you locally if you have a problem. So we really want to make sure you're getting that in the process, by the way. Day 6 embryos being less successful than day 5 embryos. Day 6 embryos are nearly the best, by the way, but day 5, 6 are great, nearly equal. Day 7's maybe a little bit less, but remember, if it's an embryo and it's alive, it's a potential baby. Why wouldn't you want to give every embryo a chance to become a baby, by the way? ICOB 21, what should I expect of frozen transfer? Our daughter is now 9 months, awesome. And it's a pleasure, by the way, Liz C. I am very, very grateful to all the shout outs and all the messages and all the kindness. We need to keep that process going because the village needs cheerleaders and coaches. We need leaders and we need a team of, we're all following the lead of the great creator and we're all learning from each other. So I know it's a really hard, challenging process, but I really work to be here, and my gratitude to Ms. Tia for at least giving me the chance to share with you. And I try to put my phone away a little bit. We're going to go on vacation for about 10 days, first week of October. But I'm really grateful to Dr. Corley, Dr. Lutheringer, Dr. Ditkoff, Dr. Grossman, Dr. Chang's coming, but all the practitioners. And our new family building guide is out. If you go to the See My Fertility website and drkiltz.com, you can download both the family building guide and also the keto magazine. But again, don't forget Miss Maria Emmerich. She's got some really amazing things on keto, and I know it's backwards, but she's really awesome. And Gary Taubes, good calories, bad calories, backwards again, but I'll work on this. But really some great stuff that you'll learn, by the way. Hello, Jessica. How you doing? What is your success rate? Someone who is perimenopausal is going to start IVF. Success rate in general. So perimenopause usually means you're closer to mid to late 40s. Your AMH is well under 1. FSH maybe above 10 to 15. And the success rates are less. If you're younger, in your early 30s, there may be a little bit more room for changing the environment and improving the outcomes for sure. So be open to that. All I can tell you is that unless you do something, you never know what it's going to be. You can always do a donor egg add-on, and our donor egg team is amazing. We have a lot of new donors. We're just gathering everyone and anyone that wants to donate eggs, donate sperm, donate embryos, donate a body to carry a baby. There's such a need in this world, and we know the foundation and the most important thing for all of us is family building, and that family is powerful. Again, I spent some time with my brother, his kids, my nephew, his family, all this together. It's really powerful for all of us, by the way. Is there, let's see here, Atlanta, plenty an opening closer to Chicago. Buffalo right now, but again, I'm working on it, and we can just go at the pace we can go. We see so many people traveling, but again, great docs wherever you're at. We really are holding strong to affordability, quality, and access, and sharing ideas that we see so many people. Hey, Dr. Kiltz, a keto baby. We reduced inflammation. I got a laparoscopy, hysteroscopy. My endometriosis was everywhere. They couldn't even do much with it sometimes, but they gave me some Lupron or Alyssa, and bingo, I got pregnant. And keto. And Kiltz's keto, I know it's nuts, but it works, and I'll bet $1 billion on it. But Emmerich Keto is sweet and amazing, and she's beautiful, and her husband Craig is awesome. So check that stuff out, by the way. Let's see. I am 35. Will I face extreme difficulties with my own egg quality? Listen, plenty of 35-year-olds have beautiful eggs. Again, listen to the stuff we're talking about. Download our magazines, both the Family Building Guide and Keto. Learn more about how to slow it down, be positive in the process, and do the best you can, by the way. Do you suggest a better chance prior to doing an IUI for my husband who has low motility and count? He's been on 50 milligrams of Clomid to help. I do a lot of 25 milligrams, CBD, LDN, and keto for guys. Cool it down. And the other is HCG shots, 250 units a day. And get a good checkup. Make sure the thyroid's okay, prolactin's okay. And remember, Tia went down to New York to learn more about meditation this last weekend. And meditation, prayer, visualization, and a positive attitude. It's hard. We all have our downsides. We all get down and depressed and sad from time to time. It's natural human experiences. But what we want to be able to do is pick up a good book. I do a ton of audiobooks. I listen to inspiring books. My best is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. And visited with Ian and his wife, Chimar, who's from Brazil. Talked about my favorite author, Paulo Coelho. But again, this is a journey in all the bumps and ripples that we're going through in the process is natural and normal. Now, it may not seem so, right? It's unfair. Who should go through this, right? But somehow the lucky part of life is that we're even alive, going through whatever we're going through. What we're doing is we're learning together. That's what it's all about. And the beauty of life today is that you don't have to go to a doctor, go someplace to learn about all this stuff. We've got the access right here in front of us, whether it's Google, FaceTime, Instagram, but there's so many people that are sharing their stories. What did you do? How did it work for you? And yes, one thing works for one and not another, but in general, I would say the treatments are very similar for all of us. Inositol for PCOS to help egg quality. Becca Joe 126, absolutely. So metformin lower dose 500, Ovasitol once to twice a day, and keto. Kiltz is keto, Emmer keto. Diagnosis diet is really awesome. And there really are some good people out there. Check out androsianphil.doctor.com. And look at, we all have ways of sharing our thoughts and ideas. They seem different than others, but really we're all speaking the same thing. And when you integrate Eastern and Western medicine and you bring them together, it's like the light shines in. And it brings some new stuff, by the way. Yes, Julie Malcia. Love that book, right? And if you haven't, let's see, The Shack is another good one. And Think and Grow Rich. Oh, and don't forget, The Secret. That's a good one. And don't forget to check out my book, The Fertile Secret, on Amazon. All right. Janae Winsauer. We are so excited. We're so excited, by the way. And again, if you have anyone that's suffering from infertility, even if they're going to someone else and it's going great, we're not here. We're here just to share some ideas and bring a positive environment to the process, because it is downright hard as shit. Sorry for my language. Miss Sophia, by the way, I hope you're in bed early. And remember, we're all here together to learn. All right. Chelsea Ragsdale. AMH 1.527, that's good. Again, listen, whatever your numbers are, you have to think on the positive side. When you're more positive rather than more negative, the blood flow is better, cortisol and epinephrine are lower, serotonin and oxytocin are higher. And so what we're really doing, and we're here to inspire everyone to integrate Eastern and Western medicine. And remember, the more we smile and love each other, right? Doesn't that make us feel better? And sometimes it takes a hug, and I really appreciate the hugs. And I appreciate the selfies too, by the way, because we're all sharing this together. And remember, all of us in some way are celebrities. All of us, each and every one of us, a unique celebrity, each and every one of us. That's why I'm really grateful when we all connect in loving and positive ways. All right. Let's see here. What does interlipids do? Okay, interlipids. It's the white stuff we infuse. It's fat. Now, it's soy fat. I would prefer butter, cream, tallow, and lard. But that said, it's a way to reduce inflammation. And the studies tell us that if you consume fat, you reduce appetite and you reduce inflammation. It doesn't make any sense. I know it's crazy. But I didn't believe this stuff 10 years ago, 15 years ago. As I begin to integrate mindfulness, gratitude, kindness, journaling, love, changing what I ate, it really just changed the environment of this whole process, right? And so it's quite an amazing process to think about. All right. MTHFR and have used an egg donor due to genetics. How does the MTHFR get factored into doing an egg donation? All right. So whether MTHFR is a factor or not, I don't know the answer. But all these things are maybe indications of a hyper coagulable state of inflammation by adding Lovenox, aspirin, prednisone, methylfolate. Remember, a myriad of minerals and vitamins to our bodies, and slowing it down is really critical and important, by the way. So don't give up on that. And so basically, these, even if you're using a donor egg or donor embryo, you want to do everything you can to reduce inflammation in your beautiful body. Remember, your beautiful body, no matter the size, the shape, the age, the other factors that go along with it. But interesting enough, the more we do keto, the more diseases go away. And I will bet $1 billion on this one. And so gratitude attitude starts the day. Remember that. Meditation and prayer. Begin to send out the positive energy to everyone around you. Don't give up. How can you keep your triglycerides down while on keto? All right. So hypercholesterolemia, hypertriglyceridemia is caused by carbs and a high protein or low fat diet. That's it. You have to read Jimmy Moore's book, Keto Clarity, and Cholesterol Clarity. You'll learn a tremendous amount from his books. And I listen to these books, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't believe any of this shit. But the more I do it, the more I live it, the more I see a complete change. But basically, when you read Gary Taub's book, Good Calories, Bad Calories, you will see the data is just mostly bullshit, sorry. We need cholesterol because cholesterol and fat is survival. Our cells are made of it. Our hormones are made of it. The most insignificant factors in our bodies are made of fat and cholesterol. A low-fat, low-cholesterol diet is deadly when you really begin to understand. For whatever reason, there's a push to make a lot of money. It's almost like the opiate epidemic and seeing all these drug companies that have basically been pushing opiates. Maybe these drug companies that are pushing the drugs for lowering cholesterol don't really understand the process, but maybe profits over people is more important. That's my theory, by the way. But read those books. Don't believe me, do it. Cholesterol, my parents had high cholesterol. They lived in the mid-90s. I will tell you this, a low cholesterol is deadly. So be careful, by the way. AMH 5.8, 36 PCOS. I will have laparoscopy this October. All right. So I think Shamas Ang. Okay, I'm just messing up these names, and I apologize. Please forgive me. Let's see. Joyce Luciana. Yes, 1987. Yeah, I think birth control pills are not good. It may adversely affect AMH levels, so I recommend not being on it, by the way. And being off of it for 1 to 3 months may get you back to normal. May take more like 3 months. This is where acupuncture, massage, get off the treadmill, cool the body down. Remember, if you're sweating and panting, that's an indication that you're heating up the core, you're cooking your eggs, you're cooking the sperm, you're cooking the embryos, you're making an adverse environment. And let's see, Sharb KB9, let's see, how long is keto recommended prior to retrieval? 2 weeks, 4 weeks. If you go longer, it's always the better. I've been ketoing it for a while now. Like tonight, I had a few bites of French fries with a little oysters and a ribeye steak, and then a little bit of ice cream. And I got to tell you, but it's my one meal today and no exercise. And I'll be 64 in March, Pisces, by the way. And we're really, really learning. And when you read my keto magazine and check out my TEDx talk, The Human Ferrari, we are human Ferraris. We're lions and lionesses. We're not pigs and cows. When you switch it around, you go like, oh my God, this is amazing, by the way. Getting ready to have an IUI, FSH, progesterone is fine, but my testosterone is high. I was told that it didn't matter. Be ready. So listen, when you have a higher testosterone level, PCOS, that's where LDN, CBD, keto. And remember, a standard American carbohydrate, fresh fruits and vegetables diet 3 to 6 times a day keeps your insulin up. It affects your testosterone levels. And so the way to get it down is to go keto. Only one tube. Let's see. Keefion Sutherland. How are you doing, by the way? It's a pleasure. Listen, again, I really appreciate everyone coming from everywhere. Philippines, Australia, England, Canada, the African continent, India, everywhere. And we're grateful. And again, from Canada and the U.S., a shout out. Oh, Dr. Faruqi, Dr. V in Montreal and Atlanta. Really a great melding of the teams. But again, we're all sharing ideas together. Lots of great people out there doing this process. Factor V, Leiden, MTHFR. I was on Lovenox before and after a transfer and baby's heartbeat. Stopped beating at 12 weeks. What else? What would you recommend? It was my second failed pregnancy. First one was lost at 7 weeks. You may need higher doses. Make sure you're on it throughout. This is where weekly intralipids, monthly IVIG, and maybe even some Humira come in. And don't forget, stay on Plaquenil. But keto. And if you have fibroids or endo, get rid of them. I think that's another important part to the story, by the way. Recommend for 3-month prep for both men and women. All right. Keto, slow it down. Faith and prayer, gratitude journaling, really important. Remember the vision boarding. Put the vision board stories of what you want, where you're going. Don't lose sight of that. And this is where it may be, again, Conception XR for guys, Ovasitol for both, Ovavite for gals, and the vitamin D necessary for both. Vitamin D levels, if they're ultra low, it's not good. And don't forget the B complexes. The Ovavite and the Conception XR have those vitamins in them, by the way. And if you have other factors going on in your body, get those taken care of. And yes, if you're feeling down and depressed, angry and sad, begin to dig into what's going on. Again, it's not bad to have all those thoughts and feelings. That's normal. But now what we want to do is turn it around and change it up. Don't forget, yoga, acupuncture. Oh, a shout out to Miss Erin McCullough's Fertile Hope Yoga, really important. Get online, you can deal with that. Go to Maria Emmerich's, MariaMindBodyHealth.com. She has a lot of great things to share also, by the way. Let's see, Ali Buggy 86, how you doing? From Houston. We look forward to talking with you, looking at your records. But so much of what I want to hear your story. What have you been through? What is it like? How do we help you on the journey to the next level? And remember, you have to hold the vision and the belief that you're going to get to where you want to go, despite the hardness of this journey. and we all feel it. We listen to it. We feel. Remember, all human beings who are in the game of life and connect with other human beings feel their pain. And I got to tell you, my team feels it, and they get sad, they get depressed, and some of them get burnt out. And so we really understand why most people never show up for fertility treatment. Most people, again, if they do one cycle, even though they might have coverage, they're gone, because it is depressing and hard. And never give up, by the way. Receptive ADX testing thoughts. Have done ERA, hysteroscopy, HSG, laparoscopy. Don't forget that, by the way. And don't forget keto in our 2-week wait. But I've had 4 prior transfers fail with PGS embryos and untested. And so, part of this may be some people need a gestational carrier because we're not able to get whatever damage is there converted over. But don't forget, it could be a sperm, it could be an egg, it could be an embryo. And even PGS testing doesn't answer all the questions. There may be some questions about an embryo that PGS testing doesn't answer. They may be an implantation factor missing, or something missing in the uterus that we don't understand. This is why hysteroscopy, laparoscopy, intralipids, IVIG, Plaquenil, Prograf, Neupogen. Again, is there proof that this works? Well, is there proof that IVF works for everyone? I mean, really, there's so many things we do in medicine that we don't have the appropriate randomized, prospective, placebo-controlled studies. Enough. If what you're doing isn't working, be open to try something else. Is it costly? Sometimes it is. Is it worth it? No one can determine that but you. That's it. If you're single, same sex, we take care of you. We're here to help. If you have eggs or sperm or embryos you want to donate, please speak up. We no longer really have anonymous donation because with 23andMe and all these methods of genetic testing, someone's going to say, hey, I know that person. I'm related. We need to drop the fear of being afraid that someone might know who we are and what we do. The real challenge in life is, remember, the truth shall set us all free. When we let go of the fear and worry, we dive deep into where we're going, even with the pain and the fear. I wake up with some pain and fear every single day, but through that, it kind of tells me I'm going in the right direction. If you're afraid, those things in life that are the most valuable quite often are the hardest to obtain. Again, it's the journey we're all on. If you haven't read Joseph Campbell in The Hero's Journey, there's so many authors that have given us so much amazing words. Remember, this is where the journaling comes in, or the audiobooks, or the reading. It's when you add more good words and format the brain, we feel better, the energy is better. When we relate to our team, our teammates, those people that are on the opposite side of the fence, when we really begin to stand still and listen, we learn much, much, much more, by the way. 32, trying 13 years, Jessica Magaletti. Listen, it doesn't matter how many years you've been trying, keep doing. But trying sometimes feels like you're running in place and not going anywhere. You know those dreams we always have, like either you're out there without your clothes on or you can't move anywhere and every step you take, right? No one's ever had those, I know. But don't give up, even when you think you have the worst scenario ever. I've seen the worst scenario be awesome and amazing and get a baby, and those that seem like it's a slam dunk, it's not so slam dunk. So again, keep going, never give up, all right? How likely is it for the opposite tube to pick up an opposite side egg? It happens. I remember from my embryology class at the University of Southern California, 1979, I think it was, or I can't remember the name of the doctor, but basically his story was his mother had one tube and one ovary on opposite sides, and bingo, somehow he was conceived, and here he is. CMY said, I'm ready to have an IUI even though my testosterone... Listen, even with an elevated testosterone, you could still get pregnant, deliver a baby, by the way. And usually those elevated testosterones are in the PCO range, not in the male range. Male range is going to be a lot worse. Slightly elevated is pretty common. We see it work all the time, by the way. tubal cannulation. We do tubal cannulations. Our Syracuse office, we're working on getting it in our Albany office. And once we get our HSG machine in our Atlanta office, by the way. But Dr. Corley and myself and Dr. Luther are going to do them in Syracuse. We have people travel from everywhere for these procedures. It really is conscious sedation. Quite often there's just a spasm. We'll do an HSG under anesthesia. If it's not open, we'll pass the catheter and kind of go from there, by the way. It's my pleasure in meeting everyone here, by the way. I feel like we're really getting to know each other through your comments, your concerns, your thoughts and ideas. My nephew Will really helps a lot. My whole team with Mooney Marketing and their team, and Bob and Kim and Nadia and Danielle, really. And there are more people I didn't mention, by the way. Really grateful for our nursing team, our front office, our back office. The maintenance team is amazing. And again, it really is I'm so grateful every day to all of those that travel so far and come so far on this most horrific and difficult journey. I am so grateful, by the way. All right. Elevated TSH affect your egg quality. Well, it's not the elevated TSH, but it's the abnormal thyroid and or the antigen antibody reactions that's causing it, that's affecting the egg quality, the sperm quality, the embryo quality, and or the implantation, by the way. Oh, and Chris and Jen, shout out to my team in Buffalo. Thank you, Chris, for coming back. You know, and no more bicycles, by the way. That's it. I stopped riding my bike a while back, by the way. All right, let's see. What made you want to do infertility treatment? Let's see. So from a kid from LA, I went to USC undergrad after LA City College. Then I went to UC Davis, back to LA, to Colorado, finished my training at University of Colorado, moved back to California, Roseville, lived in the El Dorado Hills, worked at Kaiser with Kurt Klooster. A shout out to Kurt. Friends, just tell him we think he's awesome and love. I think he's retired from Kaiser, but Kurt was doing a ton of fertility in 1990, and he took me under his wings. He showed me the ropes. I really enjoyed it. From there, I went to Harbor UCLA with Dr. Klitzky, did a 2-year fellowship, studied with Dr. Meldrum, and voila, here I am. I worked with Dr. Tchaikovsky in Alta Bates at Berkeley, 1993 and 94 and 95, and then came out to upstate New York and been here since 1995. Really enjoy it. Really am grateful to everyone again, but it was hard at first. I didn't like it. I actually wanted to do more OB, more general. And then as I begin to sort of immerse myself in the process of the pain and the difficulties and learning myself how to better handle those things, it really gave me the foundation to better share and keep going, even when it seems like the worst thing you can ever do. Delivering babies seemed like the best thing, but when it wasn't working, it was really difficult. But I was able to bring an amazing team together over the last 20 plus years, and we're learning from everyone in this world. And the things that you bring to us, other REs bring to us, other vendors, and all so many people that bring to us to help you create some new ideas, by the way. Let's see. Do you guys accept Primara Platinum Insurance? I'm not sure. Talk to our financial. Send a correspondence. We'll figure that out for you, by the way. Caitlin Rodriguez. Want to another IVF cycle will be in 3 months postpartum hurt my chances of success. I'd say give it 6 months, but my brother and I are just 10 days shy of a year. So my mother just waited 3 months. Irish twins, although we're Italian, but I think we got some Irish in us too, by the way. Let's see, Tanya Barnhart. You and your team are the best, Dr. K. 24 weeks. God bless you guys. Miracle babies. So remember, we're all on the miracle journey. That's what this is. This is a miracle journey. Even though the process is so hard, how do we make it work better? Keep on doing what you're doing. But remember, look at something different. Switch it around. Turn it upside down. Get deep inside. And if it's painful, You're going in the right direction. Don't stop now. All right? Okay. Current wait time for an IVF cycle. If you've gone into a consultation, we can get you in pretty quickly. We're getting Buffalo opened up in the next few months. Then I'm going to work on Atlanta for next year. We're working on so much. But again, it really is not difficult to travel. It's so simple and easy, by the way. Babies are a miracle. That is God-given truth. And the miracle is each and every one of you. And no matter what you're suffering from, no matter anything, it somehow is the present. And we're given a gift of this problem of infertility. And how do we learn and share? And I always imagine that God knows something better for me. And the pain is not to hurt me, it's to help me. It's to help me look, open up the shell. Because remember, the oyster is you and I, and the pearl is you and I, and the process is natural, even though it doesn't seem like it, by the way. Sarasota. I'm working on Sarasota also, by the way. Patience. So we're working with REs, with local gynecologists, and also looking at the local radiologist, and we're working to help, again, make this better. AMH came 145, only 5 weeks off the pill, and now that I'm 3 months off the pill, 397. Listen, wrong or pill suppressed by, listen, my bet is the birth control pill is not good for any of us. We might use it from time to time in a short amount of time, but not regularly. We really try to stay away from it, by the way. Which cycle day is best for endo scratch of the month part? So really, we recommend it in the luteal phase after ovulation, even up to including your menstrual period. But technically, it can be done at any time prior to the cycle you're going to do something, because it isn't always convenient to do it at the right time of the cycle. But generally, after ovulation and right with your period are times to do the scratch, hysteroscopy, DNC in the process. How we doing? Clemson beat Syracuse. But Dr. Corley's daughter was cheerleading, and hurrah. But again, playing the game is what matters. Remember, we can sit and watch all we want, and the gratitude attitude is leap on in, even if it hurts. Because when it's painful, in some way you got to know you're going in the right direction, because those things in life that are the most valuable are the hardest to obtain. And this is where God comes in for all of us, even if you don't believe, but the higher power is within all of us. And remember, when we smile in the mirror at ourselves every day, don't we feel better? Don't we want to stay in the game when you feel like that, right? Community infertility. Mrs. M. Norman, that's what we're all doing, right? All of us. And again, even when people are angry, sad, mad, XYZ, we've got to listen and learn from everyone. And when it's happening, we listen and learn, we love, and we talk about, hey, what can we all do to make it better? Because we're all human beings. We're all alive to make mistakes. That's natural for all of us. And all we can do is say, yes, you're right. What do we do to move forward to get to the next level, by the way? Yara, how you doing? All right, Maggie. Let's see. I get one more maybe. IUI coming up. Great. Buffalo office. And again, it sometimes is a little crazy in these offices. The wait's a little too long, and I apologize. I'm working on getting our blood draws or ultrasounds, but we don't want to just move you around like it's a conveyor belt. It's not. It's meant to be individualized. If you need something, throw it out there. Send a correspondence. Send an email. But we're all here as human beings doing the very best we can with the resources we have, by the way. Adenomyosis, inflammation of the uterus like endo or Alyssa, letrozole for 3 months may help. It's amazing. And keto, it works, by the way. All right. Chicago. Got some good clinics there, by the way. And good docs, by the way. And God bless to everyone. And I'm sending out love and prayers and faith and hope. Have only positive energy every day. And I'll see you guys next week on this crazy, amazing journey called life. God bless to everyone. See you then. If I can get it on the